If you are a father or husband or aspire to be both and also have a burning desire to be an entrepreneur, then this video is for you. This is episode 3 of Tessie Talks. I got a question from somebody I see as a big bro in real estate, who dropped my favorite question or comment on the poll, which was how do you juggle being a father/husband in a challenging role as entrepreneurship? And I love that question because I think it's the foundation of my why and what I do, and I think it should be the foundation and why of any husband and father for what they, if they're an entrepreneur. But I'm going to explain exactly why in this video, what that looks like for me when it comes to juggling or balancing all of that out. So a quick backtrack of my journey and my story is I was once a collegiate athlete at UNC Charlotte. I was on the football team there. During the pandemic, I found out I was going to be having my son. So this was 2020. And it took me a few months before I realized that football was not going to be my path. And I had to make a decision to hang up the cleats. And when I did, I was, depressed for 2 weeks, didn't know what to do. I was a delivery driver via Amazon. And that led me to listening to podcasts over music one day and stumbling across the right information to point me to the right books to read, the right people to listen to, etc. And eventually I went from there to sales, to rental arbitrage real estate, to then wholesaling, and now fast forward, I'm in development. And that's the business side, but the whole time, I was in 2021, I had my son. I had his birthday 6 days before mine, so I was 21. And then I just turned 22, and I had nothing to my name really, but hustle and grit. And if I hadn't become a father at that time, I wouldn't have had the hustle and grit that I had to go and make it or to go provide for my family, because previously I just thought football was that vehicle that was going to do that for me. And if I could go back in time and change anything, I would become a husband first. I would have my priorities set a little differently. But at that time, my priorities were business, make as much money as possible so I could provide for my family. And thankfully, life has taught me lessons throughout that time, because when I first had my son, I think it was maybe 5 or 6 days that we were home before I said, hey, I got to go back to work and make money again, because I was working 100% sales role. So I wasn't really present in the moment as I should have been, because I was rushing to get back to work and rushing to get back the money, missing some very pivotal times, which is the newborn phase of my child, and also missing time with my then girlfriend, now wife, supporting her in whatever way that looked like, outside of just financially. And now I know that support and providing for your family and child is not just a financial aspect. Sometimes it's just you being there, and maybe that's you making less money, and being present for your family is more important than anything else. And to continue to fast forward in my journey, obviously I've gone from wholesaling to flipping to real estate development, and kind of have climbed up the ladder. And I've now had my second child, and I'm now married, and I did all of these things out of order. Knowing what I know now and where I'm at as a man and where I have my faith at, my pillars have shifted. Business used to be my idol. Business used to be my God. I didn't know it was, but that's how I was living, and that's how I portrayed it to be. I revamped that when Jesus called me back to him. And now God is my number one priority. Family comes second, and my business comes third. And because I live in that order, I believe it's easier for me to balance or juggle, quote unquote, all of the titles or the hats. Because all these titles and hats really mean nothing to me when I'm really serving, what's above, and serving my God and serving the people that are in front of me. So I say all that to say I needed all those things to happen to me in the order they happened to me in, for me to see the way I see now. And the one piece of advice I could give to anybody is there's never a even balance or a juggling factor that's going to make sense when you're wearing all those hats as a father, as a husband, as a business owner or entrepreneur. You're never going to have it all balanced out. You're never going to have it all figured out. But if you have your priorities in place and you truly mean it and truly stand behind it, then the things just flow easier. Because for me, my family is my why. But above that, God is my why. And it all trickles down into each other, and it aligns with each other, and it helps things flow so much more simpler than the way it used to be when I had business in my God, man. I used to bump my head all the time. And I'd come home angry in business or money and stuff like that. And now that's bleeding out into, my relationship. Now that's bleeding out into how present I am as a dad and all these different things. So, I'm 27 years old. I'm still figuring things out. I now have 2 children, and I have more peace than ever because I do have God as my foundation, and then everything else comes after that. So I have something to lean on when I'm uncertain, when I'm unsure, and I don't know where to go to. And I want to pass that to anybody that is pursuing entrepreneurship and they're a husband or father, or they feel like, how am I going to balance it, or how am I going to handle all the weight? You're not supposed to handle all the weight. That's the whole thing. So the sooner you realize that, the easier the journey gets. And maybe even the sooner you'll want to have those things in place. Because I remember when I was young and ignorant, I used to always say, I'm not getting married to my 30s. I'm not having kids to my 30s. All these different things that I had planned. And the whole time God was laughing, was like, man, little do you know I have a completely different plan for your life and how I'm going to use you. And I'm grateful for that, man. I'm so grateful for that. And I wish I was yearning for a wife and a family even sooner, because it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And it makes what I do in real estate more simple, because I have a why, I have a purpose behind it. I'm providing something way more than just myself. I'm providing a legacy. I'm teaching my sons what it looks like to be a man of God, a man of integrity, a man to serve others. And that is something that wakes me up every day and gets me out of the bed, not the actual money. So that's all that's kind of coming at the top of the dome. As y'all know, I just freestyle on these Tessie Talks, but it was my guy Trey that asked this question, bro. Trader, love the question, bro. I appreciate you tapping in. Like I said, I see you as a big bro in real estate. So I'm hoping and praying that I can be a tool and resource for you as you enter into being a husband and father, because I know it's around the corner. And to any of you guys that are watching this video, man, please, 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 please try to reprioritize what your priorities are. Like, sit down with a pen and paper and write down what truly matters to you and what you're chasing it for. Because if it's always leading back to money, what is that really going to get you? It's not going to get you the fulfillment you're looking for. Trust me. It's not going to get... I've made some good money. The money has never fulfilled me. So that's my recommendation to all when it comes to juggling or balancing what it looks like as life as a father and husband / entrepreneur. There is no perfect balance. It's a juggle that we all have and will look a little bit different for each one of us. But again, if your priorities are right, your foundation is right, the journey it'll be more peaceful. Won't be easier, but it'll be more peaceful. And it isn't easy, but it's simple. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. This is episode 3. Let me know in the comments what y'all want to hear next on episode 4 of Tessie Talks. I'll see y'all in the next video.